There we go. Good morning, Silver and Black Lair. Silver and Black Nation. Welcome to the Silver and Black Lair. I got it all fuddled up here already to start off the Saturday morning. I clicked mute by accident, so I'm there talking, and I'm like, damn it, it's on mute. And then I messed up the opening, and here we go, Saturday, right? What a way to kick it off. All right. How's everybody doing out there? If you're a Raider fan, you're doing a little bit better than you were last week. I'll tell you that right now. Was it a surprise that Josh McDaniels was fired? A little bit. I was surprised that they fired him, mid-season, especially Mark, saying that, he's going to stick to his guns. He's going to need to have the same coach in there to build continuity and stuff like that. And so I was a little bit surprised that he was fired halfway through the season. I'm not surprised he was fired, though. It was pathetic, the effort that I don't want to say the effort that the team put in. That they looked uninspired. They looked, like they were playing without heart. They're kind of going through the motions almost. That's what it felt like. And I think part of McDaniel's problem was, bringing his version of the Patriot way to the Raiders. Now, what I mean by that is, so he didn't bring the whole Patriot way to the Raiders. He didn't bring, the Bill Belichick, around the Cleveland, press conference type of thing. He didn't bring that, and just the business, all the time type of nature. McDaniel's a little bit more open than what Bill was, but he brought the it's my way or the highway mentality in my mind. Anyway, I could be totally way off on this, but I brought this comment up so many different times where, the reason Hunter Renfrow is going the way Hunter Renfrow is going since McDaniel's been coach is because McDaniel does not give him the freedom to break off routes or to adjust routes and stuff like that. And, this is the play that's called. This is how you have to run the route, period, end of story. Whereas where it was with DC and Hunter Renfrow, and Hunter was a Pro Bowler, Hunter was able to adjust the routes. He was able to break off a route. He was able to stop, sit and stuff like that. McDaniels doesn't want that. McDaniels doesn't like that, and that's one of the reasons why Derek Carr is no longer a Raider as well, because Derek Carr would go up and sometimes audible, and McDaniels wants to play run as called. And I also think maybe that's part of the reason why some of the reason why Jimmy G's sitting his ass on the bench now. If you don't know this already, Jimmy G's his ass is on the bench. Aiden O'Connell will be starting this Sunday for us against the Giants, and So I just think Josh McDaniels' unwillingness to bend, to flex, to meet halfway on a lot of things really hurt this team, set this team back. Because I felt like, with Gruden, we were going the right direction a couple of years into the Gruden's second tenure, and then the whole scandal with the emails and such. And then with Rich Bisaccia taken over, you've seen the team was playing for him. They were playing inspired football. They were playing together, and they were able to beat the Chargers that last week of the season and head to the playoffs. Unfortunately, as with much fanfare, everybody wanted Bisaccia to get that coaching job. Feel like he earned it. I think he led the Raiders to a 7-5 record down the stretch there after Gruden was let go. And but he did not get it. We went to Josh McDaniels. And I don't think there are too many Raider fans that were overly excited about the prospect of Josh McDaniels coming to Las Vegas. And there's a couple of different reasons for that. One, it's the Patriots. You're going to bring that the Patriot way, which does not work unless you have the greatest quarterback of all time, playing your system. If it's proof. This is so much proof, that Tom Brady's the one that ran that ship, to what was it, 6 Super Bowls or whatever it was, 7, I don't know, 6 Super Bowls victories, and Tom Brady was the reason. Tom Brady was the catalyst for that. It wasn't Josh McDaniels' brilliance and stuff like that, or Bill Belichick's brilliance. It was Tom Brady. Without a shadow of a doubt, it was Tom Brady. And another reason why, you got many groans from Silver and Black Nation for, with the hiring of Josh McDaniels was, he's already been a head coach in the league with Denver. And it didn't go so well. shocking, right? It didn't go so well here either. So, I mean, it's almost like a history kind of repeats itself kind of thing because, McDaniels goes into Denver, kind of starts building the team the way he wants with some New England players. Let's go of the franchise quarterback, Jay Cutler, because he doesn't play ball, doesn't do it the way that McDaniels wants it done to the T. And, same thing happened here. McDaniels comes in, he brings in his Patriots buddies, releases Derek Carr, gets rid of Derek Carr, because Derek Carr isn't doing it the way that Josh wants him to do it. I mean, it was only a matter of time. It was so disgusting. And I think part of the reason why he did get fired when he did get fired, I do believe a lot of the alumni, the old Raider heads, I believe they have a lot to do with it. Charles Woodson posted on the old Twitter box, now known as X. I don't want to call it Xbox because that's a video game system. But anyway, posting on X, I think he posted something to the fact of it's time for change or this has to change or something like that. And, I think it was like 2 days later, there is change, or a day later, whatever it was, there is change now. So I think in my opinion is that I, without knowing facts or not, I'm just guessing here that some of the alumni, some of the old heads, you got into Mark Sears saying, dude, this is not going the way you want it to go. This is not going in the direction you want it to go. We are not taking any steps forward. We are taking many steps backwards. You can see if there's some sort of progress to it. But I mean, for me as a Raider fan, the final straw for me with Josh McDaniels, I mean, my straws were all gone, prior to the Monday night game. But the final straw for me was first half, the Raiders get a turnover on the Detroit Lions side of the field. And this is more on Garoppolo than it is on Josh McDaniels. So that's my final straw for Jimmy G is I hope he never puts on a Raider uniform again. Or I hope he doesn't see the field as a Raider quarterback again. I should say that. But, early in the first half, I think it was the first quarter, Raiders get a turnover on the Detroit side of the field. Devontae Adams running around. It is kind of double coverage. But in my opinion, I think he has that beat. If Jimmy Garoppolo throws it to the back corner of the end zone. Devontae's running. He already has 2 steps on the cornerback on the outside, and I think he's a step over the safety already. Safety coming down to help. And if Jimmy G throws that to the outside, to the corner of the end zone, back corner of the end zone, Devontae Adams runs under that and either catches it or it's incomplete. But no, he underthrows a 30-yard goddamn pass. A 30-yard pass he underthrows. Grossly underthrows. And it's intercepted. I mean, it's just, right there, I said, like, you know what, I'm done with this Jimmy G thing. I'm done with the whole Jimmy G thing. And then McDaniels, the one play call, we gave McDaniels all sorts of shit for not going on 4th down against the Chargers, not going for it. I think it was the Chargers, not going for it on 4th down against the Steelers, 4th and short, 4th and 1, 4th and 2. On their side of the field, close to the end zone, where it makes sense to go for it, to continue the drive to try to get a touchdown, where this maniac is going for it on 4th and 2 on our side of the 45-yard line. And we haven't shown any resemblance of a running game yet. I mean, like it was asinine. Well, then we throw a pass. I mean, he gets really cheeky with it. Like, we're not going to run. We're going to pass the ball. And, so now the Detroit Lions have the ball, our side of the field, and it's 1st and 10. Unbelievable play calling to me. It's head scratching, asinine stuff like that. That just, I was so over Josh McDaniels last year. This year just really just compounded it. So I was having a rough day Tuesday. I was kind of, annoyed, irritated. I think it was Tuesday. Halloween. And then I seen that McDaniels gets fired. I walk into the break room, and a fellow Raider fan, 1:30 in the morning, says to me, "Did you see the news?" I said, "No, what's the news?" And he goes, "They fired him." And I'm thinking, who fired who? And I'm thinking, oh, McDaniels, I like that's awesome. He goes, and Ziegler too. I'm surprised they let go of Ziegler, but I have no problem with that. Send Ziegler packing. He's done some questionable things as GM as well. Some of these contracts, like Devontae's contract. It's a pretty big contract, but I think Devontae's worth every bit of it. I can't think of his name right now. Chandler Jones contract and stuff like that. They did the Jimmy G's contract, 3 years, $70 million for a quarterback that just gets injured all the time. But Jimmy G's a winner. Jimmy G's not a winner. Jimmy G played quarterback for a good head coach and a great defense. That's why Jimmy G won games. Jimmy G did not win games. His team won games. Now, the Raiders defense has been playing well. Against the Lions, gave up 400-some yards total offense, which is a lot, but they were on the field a lot. They were on the field most of the game. Raiders offense, 3 and out, barely got 150, I think, yards, something like that total. Is disgusting. It was disgusting. I couldn't watch anymore, but I recorded the DVR'd, DVR'd the game. I watched the first half live before I went to work. And as my neck was hurting from shaking my head so much. And then, just listening to it, I'm like, I can't watch this. I cannot watch this. I tried watching it. I'm like, no, I can't watch this. This is unwatchable football. And I'm glad there's a change. I'm going to hit up a couple comments here real quick. Our boy Adam Glenn. What's up, Adam? Good morning, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking the show out and commenting this early in the morning. Who do you want the next head coach to be? Well, Adam, I think that all depends on how Antonio Pierce does. If Antonio Pierce does well, if he does well, the team's playing well for him, I have zero problem let Antonio Pierce coach the Raiders. I go short-term contract, low money, because we're paying 2 coaches right now not to coach the Raiders. We're still paying Gruden, and we're going to be paying McDummy. Well, who's a real McDummy now? I guess you look at it, so we'll be paying the guy not to work. But if Pierce does a decent enough job, I have zero problem with them keeping him. But if it's just like, hey, he's not head coach material, all right, I'm cool with that as well. I would not mind the Raiders looking at Rich Bisaccia again. Rich Bisaccia, who filled in for when Gruden was fired. I thought he did well. He let the guys do their thing. He coached when coaching was needed. He just did his thing. He's never a head coach before. He's always like special team stuff, and that's what he's doing right now in Green Bay, special teams coordinator. But they played for him. They played inspired football for him, which they never did for Josh McDaniels. And so Rich Bisaccia, I wanted Jim McMahon. Before or Harbaugh, not Jim McMahon, Jim Harbaugh. I'm thinking Jim McMahon. That's the former Bears quarterback that got the fork in the eye. No, Jim Harbaugh. I wanted Jim Harbaugh before, but the only problem with Jim Harbaugh, in my opinion, is that he wears on you. That's what seems like to happen in San Francisco when he was coaching there. Is that a lot of the veteran players had the shits of him? He's a quirky fella. He's an intense dude. And always on edge with him around. I guess that can get old quick. So the one thing with Jim coaching college football is that every couple of years he's getting new groups of players in, so it doesn't grow old for them. And but if you're coaching 5-6 years in the pros, the same core group of guys, it's going to get old. It's going to wear on they're millionaires and stuff like that. So things get a little bit soft. So McMahon's one. Eric Bieniemy, I don't know what the deal is with Eric Bieniemy, why he hasn't gotten a head coaching job yet. But if he's somebody that the Raiders, because if I'm Mark Davis, this is what I'm doing. If I'm Mark Davis, I'm getting a small group of the old heads, of the alumni, like a Charles Woodson, a Lincoln Kennedy, maybe a Rich Gannon, getting them together with a group of the current team leaders, Mad Max, Devontae, guys like that, and going over a list of coaches, and say, so what are you guys thinking about this? Interview, come back with it, notes, break it down with them, as well. Because, these guys are going to have to play with them. The alumni players, the veteran, the players that play for the Raiders, in years past, the famous slogan is once a Raider, always a Raider. Well, that would prove it right there. Just bring in a committee, a group like that, old players, current players, your brain trust, your Mark Davis, who's admitted before he doesn't have a great football mind. He's not his dad. His dad, when he was in his prime and his peak, was a great football mind. A great talent evaluator and stuff like that. So that's I'd bring those people together, and that's how I would break down the coaching search. What do you think of Eric Bieniemy? Do you think Eric Bieniemy brings this to the table? Do you think Eric Bieniemy is progressive enough? As an offensive coach, do you think Eric Bieniemy can revitalize our running game? So, stuff like that. It's instead of going out and just hiring some dickhead from New England, maybe look at it like that. Be a little bit more open to it. I'm not sure of offensive coordinators, but I know I think Miami's offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name, but I've heard his name a couple times. I can't really think of anybody else. The Dan Quinn down in Dallas. I wouldn't be too upset if we pulled Dan Quinn in, because we don't very often we don't get too many defensive minded coaches. Jack Del Rio, we had him. I thought he did well in Las Vegas. His last season was a bit of a shit show, but I thought he did well, or actually in Oakland. I thought he did well in Oakland, and that's when Gruden was ready to come back. So he got the short end of the stick on that one, which was a bummer. I'm gonna shout out a couple comments here real quick. Eileen, hey, Eileen, your tag team partner, Adam Glenn, checked in already. She says, breakfast with Ken. I like the darkness. There we go. Yeah, I kind of huddled back in my darkness here. I have the lights off right now. I got a window here with a little bit of sunlight coming in. So out of the darkness comes the Ken, the BatFrie. Here we go. All right. Fantasy football girl advice. Who do you want as head coach? That's what I was just talking about. The same thing that Adam Glenn just said. I want it to be a good process. Like I said, if Antonio Pierce does well, if he comes out of this, with a decent record, a respectable record, the players are playing for him. He shows, imaginative offense, good leadership, tight defense. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't. As a Raider fan, we've been going through this for so long that we just want something that looks like a football team right now. It's something to build on. And Antonio Pierce has never called plays before. He's a defensive coach, and so they fire their offensive coordinator, and now they hire the quarterbacks coach, or the interim basis here. The quarterbacks coach, Bo Hardigree. That's right. Yeah. Hardigree. They bring in Bo Hardigree, who's never called plays before. So this is going to be interesting to see how it goes. But with that being said, our new interim GM, Champ Kelly, he and Antonio Pierce both have vouched for Bo Hardigree, saying that he's the type of guy, even though he has not called any plays, he's never called plays before. He's the type of guy that isn't afraid to. There's no hesitation. There's no second guessing. He knows what he wants to do next and stuff. So we'll see what happens with the play calling. It's going to be interesting. It really is. To have a couple guys as interim coaches so green at it. When Bisaccia took over, I can't remember exactly who the offensive coordinator was, but I know it was a seasoned offensive coordinator. So it's not like he was going in that blind. He had somebody there to call the plays, to help out, to help manage the game and stuff like that. So it didn't get too big on Rich Bisaccia. But there's a couple guys I like for the Raiders to look at. There's going to be some guys that that are going to be surprises as well. For me, I'd rather them look, to a newer group, a younger type coach, somebody that the players can they can communicate with easily, and they kind of it's just they can kind of relate with. That's the word I'm looking for. They can relate to. Thanks for checking the show out. Thanks for commenting too. Fantasy football girl. Good morning from Texas. There we go. Pennsylvania, Texas. Good morning. You're. I guess you'd probably be Central Time, so you're a little bit even earlier. You're 8:20 in the morning right now. Thanks for checking the show out. I appreciate it very much. Rich Youse. Hey, what's up, Rich? How you doing, buddy? What about Deuce Staley? Again, I'm not opposed to anything. Who does Deuce coach for? Is he out in Kansas City? I feel like he's in Kansas City with Andy. So yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about Deuce, but I don't follow his career close enough to. Sorry, Rich. I didn't know that. I thought was he in Kansas City though? I feel like he was in Kansas City at one point. He wasn't always in Detroit. But yeah, I mean, you look at that offense there. I mean, that offense is fantastic right now. It's clicking. So, Stacy Northrup checking in. So you check Stacy out tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. The Big Blue Power Hour, talking New York Giants football. She says, "Good morning, Ken. Let's go, Giants." I don't think so. It's you know what, Stacy, it's going to be probably a low-scoring game, like 6-3. So, neither offense can score points. Then again, Daniel Jones is back. We do have Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, but we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a low-scoring contest. We got Adam Glenn saying Eric will be Washington head coach. We'll see, because I've been hearing Ron Rivera's on his way out there as well. So we'll see. It just doesn't make sense why he hasn't been a head coach yet. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me why he hasn't gotten that job, that opportunity, because he's been at it for a while and his name's been out there for a while. It doesn't make sense. Adam asks, how's your truck, Bambi? It's all right. So for those of you that don't know, I was supposed to be on yesterday morning. Well, Thursday night, taking my daughter home from softball practice, I hit a deer with my brand new truck, a month and a half old. And so yesterday morning after work, I was on the phone for a while with insurance and all that stuff. And disappointment is not even the word that I feel. So Rich says that he was in Philly. It's like, man, I could have swore he was in Kansas City. Damn. But yeah, again, he's learned from some great coaches, offensive-minded coaches, and I'm not opposed to it. Yeah, he's a younger. He would be a younger type coach. Not in the league. He was in the league not that long ago. 10 years ago, maybe. Maybe a little bit longer, but it's somebody that can relate to the players. Good morning. Thank you, Rich. Adam Glenn says, easy win for the Giants. I don't think so there, Adam Glenn. I don't think anything's going to be easy for either of these teams. It's just going to be it's going to be it's going to be 36-33, no doubt. But I'm just saying it's going to be a low-scoring game if things continue going the way they have, which, again, I'm thinking in the mindset of Josh McDaniels, where it's just unimaginative, bland offense. Maybe this Bo Hardigree, he comes in there and he just starts telling all sorts of crazy shit. I don't know. Imagine trying to get the ball to your best players. That's crazy, right? Trey Tucker, is a game breaker just waiting to happen. Imagine us trying to get him the ball. Hunter Renfrow, it barely gets any snaps, let alone passes thrown to him. Devontae Adams the last couple of weeks, against Chicago, he did get quite a few looks, but nothing, really, to sneeze at. And against Detroit, like I said, Jimmy G throws that ball to the back corner of the end zone. The Raiders are leading that game instead of underthrowing him by 5-10 yards. And then he also had him open for a 98-yard touchdown and threw into the out of bounds. It's asinine. I can't stand it. Where are we at here? Raiders need to tank the rest of the season. I don't even want to hear that, Joe. No way. You can check Joe out, Joe Sullivan, on the Soli Squad on Mondays. Extra innings, I think, is taking a break right now that the World Series is over. We'll see. I'm not really 100% positive on that, so I shouldn't be saying that. But yeah, you can check Joe out on multiple shows here on the network. So give him a follow. We've been tanking since 2003, basically, and that's unintentional tanking. That's what it feels like. Deuces the Lions OC. Yep. Just lose, baby. Get a quarterback. And you know what? That's the interesting thing with us benching Raiders benching Jimmy G for Aiden O'Connell. Now we're going to see what Aiden O'Connell has. I've talked to some Purdue fans before about Aiden O'Connell. They said he's much better than what his numbers shown last season with the Purdue Boilermakers. He had quite a few injuries at wide receiver. He was working with a lot of freshmen, and underclassmen. But if you go back and look the years prior, where they're a little bit more healthier, his numbers were a lot more robust, a higher completion percentage, and he's not afraid to throw the ball downfield. I like that. Whereas Jimmy G, it was dink and dunk, and he would occasionally throw the ball downfield, but it was nowhere near target. Nowhere near target. I guarantee you, Derek Carr's our quarterback this year. He, at the very least, he hits Devontae for that touchdown in the back corner of the end zone. He hits Devontae for that 98-yard touchdown without a thought. At the very least, if he doesn't hit him for the touchdown, the ball is going to be incomplete, out of bounds, not severely underthrown for an interception. A 30-yard pass. I'm not talking about a 60 or 70-yard pass. A 30-yard pass. There's no reason that should be underthrown. So to go over it real quick before I move on. McDaniels is fired. Antonio Pierce, linebackers coach, is our interim head coach. Ziegler's fired. Dave Ziegler's fired. Champ Kelly's our interim GM. Mike Lombardi's fired as the offensive coordinator the next day. I think it was Wednesday. And now the quarterback coach, Bo Hardigree, is now the interim offensive coordinator. So I think worst comes to worst. I do think they retained Champ Kelly. He did interview for the GM before with the Raiders, and from listening to a bunch of different Raiders podcasts, particularly Q on I can't think of his podcast. Anyway, it doesn't matter what it is. But the way Q was talking, that a lot of people are very high on Champ Kelly. That sooner or later he's going to be a GM. So that's something maybe I wouldn't let go. So that's all I have on that. A couple comments by some players after McDaniels was fired. The one person I really wanted to hear from was Hunter Renfrow, and they got an interview with him. So a little the one line that got me from the Hunter Renfrow interview was Renfrow says team was walking on eggshells. That's never good when you're walking around, nervous about what's going to happen today or what's he going to say today. If you're not getting respect from your coach or your boss, you're not going to give the respect back. It is what it is. And he seems, I don't know. I don't want to say he seems like a douchebag, but maybe he is a douchebag. I don't know. Josh McDaniels. And it's that whole Patriot way thing. It's, nose in the air and, a blue blood there. So, and I think I said it before, it's all Tom Brady. It's proof. The proof is in the pudding, as they say around these parts. No Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels doesn't have an offense. No Tom Brady, Bill Belichick can't win a goddamn game. So there it is. Tom Brady leaves New England, wins a Super Bowl. goes to the playoffs a couple of years. I mean, he continues to win. Even though his last season was a losing record, they still won a division and made the playoffs. And also Nate Hobbs, he said he's excited to play for Antonio Pierce. Says team is ready to run through a wall for Antonio Pierce, and they take on the personality of their coach, which is, if your coach isn't giving you respect, why should you respect him? So if you have a coach that's showing you the respect, showing you the love, and that's something that you're willing to go out there and fight for. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Like I said, if it goes well, keep him. Don't let him go like you did Bisaccia. If it doesn't go well, all right, he had an opportunity. Let's move on and see what we can get. Deuce Staley, Eric Bieniemy, Jim Harbaugh. A lot of Raider fans are saying Rich Bisaccia. I don't know about that, but even John Gruden's name has been floated out there. I wouldn't be opposed to John Gruden's return. I know some Raider fans didn't like John Gruden there the second time, but that is what it is. Either you love him or you hate him, I guess. I don't know. So we'll move on to the Giants here. Both teams sucking ass on offense, playing decent defense, especially the Giants have been playing pretty decent defense. Like I said, the Raiders last week against the Lions, giving up 26 points, a lot of yards, 400-some yards. They couldn't get off the field in third downs. They have a lot of third down conversions. But they were able to hold the Lions to a lot of field goals. They were able to bend, but don't break. And against the Bears, a little bit more of the same. They did give up 30 points to the Bears, but they were on the field a lot. The offense couldn't get anything going, and the defense. To be honest with you, the defense sucked against the Bears. They couldn't stop the run for anything. So, they're out there a long time. They couldn't get off the field in third downs. It seemed that's a reoccurring theme with this team. Can't stop the run, can't get off the field. So, the Giants are coming off a loss, 13-10 to the Jets in overtime. So now it's Jet Life Stadium. It's not MetLife Stadium anymore. They had -9 passing yards last week. Now, Danny Jones was out, Danny Dimes, and I think Tyrod Taylor was hurt as well. So, so -9 yards passing. That's not going to get it done anywhere. Well, maybe if you're like, I don't know, Army or something like that, and you're running the wing T where you have 400 yards rushing, -9 yards passing isn't a big deal. But Daniel Jones is back this week. So that's going to be interesting. And see what kind of Daniel Jones, they're going to have. They're going to have Daniel Jones from like last year, efficient, ran the ball well, not turning the ball over a bunch. This season he has a 68.9% completion percentage, which isn't that bad. 884 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Again, he's been hurt the last couple of weeks, so we'll see what Daniel Jones they have here. They just traded Leonard Williams away, one of their big time defensive tackles. I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest with you. But they'll have Ashawn Robinson filling in, a younger player. Darren Waller's going to be out. He hurt his other hamstring, and that's another guy. If Josh McDaniels isn't the Raiders coach last year, I do believe Derek Carr and Darren Waller are still Raiders. I think Darren Waller kind of got under McDaniels' skin a little bit. Questioned him a little bit, and Josh didn't like that. You don't dare question the higher authority. So. The defense for the Giants has had 10 sacks the last 2 weeks. Our offensive line is prone to give up a lot of sacks, especially recently. Last week, Saquon Barkley, a lot of carries, 36 carries. That's, I think, a career high for him, it said. 128 yards, so he's their workhorse. He'll catch the ball. He'll run the ball. He does everything. Saquon does everything. Dexter Lawrence having an outstanding season. Kayvon Thibodeau, man, unbelievable. 8.5 sacks. He's having an outstanding season so far. Got a question from Rich here, Rich Youst. Who you got, Dallas or Philly tomorrow? Let's see. Either way, I'm gonna get hell. I actually, to be honest with you, let me scratch my head on this. I am gonna go. I'm going Philly tomorrow. I'm gonna go Philly. I don't think Philly's been playing good, but if they're able to get some pressure on Dak, and Dak's been throwing a lot of stupid passes, making a lot of mistakes. So if they're able to get Dak in some questionable spots, get him to turn the ball over a little bit, I think Philly would be an extra couple of possessions are able to put up more points. First off, Philly's got to get the ball into the end zone. They got to stop kicking field goals. First things first there. It's like San Francisco. They're having a hard time getting the ball in the end zone. I think Philly, they've had a hard time getting the ball in the end zone as well. They're kicking a lot of field goals inside the 20. So I'm gonna go Philly. I'm not very confident on that because I do think Dallas is a very good team when they're right. I think me personally, I think Dallas is a Super Bowl contending team. It's, just as Philly and the 49ers. I think those are three teams that are Super Bowl contending teams in the NFC. And it just right now, I just feel like maybe it's Philly's. This one's gonna be for Philly. They're gonna split. So that's what it seems like. It seems to happen more often than not. Rich says, I agree. The play calling is horrible in the red zone. And Adam says, good pick. Eagles. Eagles. The Eagles. Fucking hammerhead dogs walking around making noises. Anyway, so Rich, check out some, Eagles and Cowboys talk tomorrow. I know there'll be a Cowboys pregame and postgame on the network, and they'll be talking and covering the game. So it's not an Eagles podcast, but it's the Cowboys, and they'll be talking about the Cowboys Eagles. So I mean, either way, you can ask them their thoughts, and I'm sure they'll be pro Cowboy. But usually they are pretty straight shooters. If the Cowboys are going to suck, they're going to tell you they're going to suck. And of course, we've had Joel Sullivan commenting here. He does a couple Philly podcasts. The Solely Squad on Thursdays. The NFC East War Room, debate. Where they debate. Everybody in the NFC East will debate and stuff like that. So check those out as well. Lots of Eagles talk there. But yeah, any more questions? Eagles or whatever. I'll throw out any kind of answer. Doesn't matter to me. That's also some statistical leaders for the Giants here. You have Saquon with 110 carries, 412 yards rushing, 3.7 yards per carry. So he's having a little bit of an issue getting the ball rolling here with a banged up offensive line and probably one of the worst offensive lines in the league. That's per Giants podcast that I was listening to. So they're saying it, so I'm just going to go with it. But he's struggling much like Josh Jacobs is, holding out, for the big contract. Saquon signed first, and then Josh Jacobs not long after, and both guys kind of struggling a bit on the ground, and both guys with offensive lines that are struggling. So, is it them? Is it the offensive line? And is it the play calling? I don't know. Daniel Jones, we all know he can run 38 carries, 197 yards, and they also have Matt Breida. And he has 112 yards on the season. Wide receiver-wise, Darius Slayton, 19 catches, 257 yards. Darren Waller's out, so no reason to read his stats, but he is their leading receiver, I think in receptions, targets, and yards. Jalen Hyatt, 9 catches, 195 yards. Defensively, like I said, Kayvon Thibodeau, 8.5 sacks. He's playing awesome. Dexter Lawrence, 3 sacks. And Bobby O'Kirk. I can't think. I don't know what his name. I don't know what his name is. I don't know. 73 total tackles. He's their top tackle guy. So for the Raiders to have any success against the Giants, they're going to have to block. They're going to have to block. They're going to have to protect Aiden O'Connell. He's not a mobile quarterback. He's not afraid of pressure. Watching against the Chargers and stuff like that, he was sacked six times against the Chargers by Khalil Mack. And Khalil Mack just had 6 sacks, a couple fumbles. He needs to know when to get rid of the ball. He has to protect the ball better in the pocket. Instead of hanging it down, by his hip, get both hands on that ball, release from up top, and go. He did throw 1 interception that game as well. So protect Aiden O'Connell. It's going to be tough sledding again in the run game. Giants are only giving up the last couple games like 12 points a game or something like that. So their defense is playing really, really well. Now offensively for the Raiders, I think as long as they're able to keep Saquon Barkley in check, I think they'll be fine. And that's easier said than done. Saquon Barkley, still a hell of a running back, can catch the ball out of the field, runs hard, big ass legs on him. And as we've seen in the past, running backs tend to have really good days against the Raiders defense. So I think the biggest key for the Raiders is to stop Saquon Barkley. And I'm sure the Giants know that. The Bears knew that. When the Bears, I can't think of his name right now, ran for 100, or no, he didn't run yet, but he had a combined total of 180 yards or whatever. So that was rushing and receiving. And Saquon will easily do that. Easily, because like I said, he catches the ball out of the backfield well, and he runs the ball hard. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on our guys up the middle. John Jenkins, Adam Butler, Bilal Nichols, Jerry Tillery. Those are our 4 main tackles. We also have Byron Young, who hasn't really played a whole lot yet. The rookie. Came into the camp with an injury and kind of was still working through it, but he hasn't seen the field a whole lot yet. And it's going to be tough. We're out a couple linebackers as well. Divine Diablo's out with I think it's an ankle injury. Luke Masterson's out with a concussion. So it's right there, 2 linebackers. Robert Spillane, he's questionable. So he was on the injured report. He's questionable with a hand, and I'm sure he'll play. The linebacker, hurt hand, they'll tape that shit up. You're going to play. But I mean, the Raiders had to go out and they had to actually sign a linebacker. They went out, they released David Long Jr. to open up some space, and they signed Jalen Smith, a former New York Giant, Dallas Cowboy. He was a Pro Bowler. He had a couple seasons in a row with what was it, 100 and I didn't write it down. I think he had 3 seasons in a row of 120 plus tackles. He had 154 tackles in 2020 to lead the league. Pro Bowl in 2019, 140 plus tackles there. So, good sign for the Raiders. A veteran player. He was on the practice squad for the Saints. And so I'm kind of curious, he was had a couple seasons where he was really, really good. And then he's on the practice squad with the Saints. So I'm kind of figuring, it's one of those things like, what's wrong with from everything I was looking, I couldn't find anything performance-wise, why he wouldn't be actually on an active roster, besides that he's never played special teams before. So I don't know. So Jalen Smith is going to be playing linebacker. I'm sure he'll be playing right away. And last week, Amari Burney, Raiders draft pick this season. I think he was, I don't know if he was 5th or 6th round. Good dogs. I don't know if he was 5th or 6th round, but something like that. A late round pick from Florida. He got his first game action, I believe, last week. He did all right, not bad. I think he had 6 tackles. So continue playing him. I believe they should. Very thin at the linebacker spot right now. All right, nose is all stuffy. So middle of our defense is going to be huge this week. It has to be huge. Got to stop the run. Got to get pressure up the middle. Robert Spillane, the linebacking core, is going to have to watch Daniel Jones. Do not over pursue. If he gets out of the pocket, you don't want to come up on the run too quickly, but expect a run. Marcus Peters, he had a pick six last week. So that was one of the Raiders, 14 points. So hopefully he keeps that rolling. Maybe bait Danny Dimes into throwing a pick or two. Trayvon Mooring, he has 2 picks. Nate Hobbs, he's back. He's playing this week. Max Crosby, of course, is Max Crosby. 6.5 sacks, 10 tackles for losses. He's just he's a force. Max Crosby is an absolute force. He's always in the backfield. Does have a couple dumb penalties occasionally, but Malcolm Kuntz, we'll see what happens with him. Tyree Wilson, I hope Tyree Wilson gets more playing time as the season goes on, and he's coming off his injury, his foot injury from his last season in college. Thayer Munford's out, offensive line. Jakob Johnson, fullback, is out. So a couple injuries. I'm going to go over a couple stats here for the Raiders before I talk about their keys to victory. Aiden O'Connell, he's 34 of 52, a 65% completion percentage, 313 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's in one start and then some garbage time against the Bears. Josh Jacobs, 133 carries, 408 yards, 3.1 yards per carry. He sucks ass. 3 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, 47 catches, 539 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, probably one of the few Patriots that I enjoy having on the team, 38 catches, 404 yards, 5 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, again, 28 catches, 242 yards. Just like Saquon Barkley, both guys run hard, catch the ball well out of the backfield, so they're dual weapon there. And then Michael Mayer, 11 catches, 148 yards. I'm hoping to see him get more targets as well. Get the ball to Renfro and the tight ends. Let stuff open up on the outside. We'll see what happens. So for the Raiders, I think to beat the Giants. For the Raiders to beat the Giants, I think they need to establish the run. Even if it's not working, if you're getting 2 yards a carry, run, short pass, run, short pass. And go from there. Anything to protect Aiden O'Connell, give him a chance. I think if they go out of the gate, have him throwing the ball 50 times, I think it's going to be a disaster. I think they, have him pass, 24 to 27 times in the game, which is normal, and push that run. Get Josh Jacobs 20+ carries, and I think good things are going to happen. Get the ball in his hands at least 30 times. Whether that's 25 carries and 5 catches, either way, get it close to 30 times. I think good things are going to happen. Look for Hunter Renfrow underneath. Let him be Hunter Renfrow, and I think we'll convert more third downs. There's a reason why we called him third and Renfrow. And Devontae, when he gets his opportunity, he gets his opportunity. We can't just keep force feeding Devontae Adams. I got a comment here real quick from Eileen. She's, I thought maybe we would have seen Devontae Adams traded. I wasn't sure. I was hoping not. I like Devontae as a Raider. He likes being a Raider. He said he was a Raider fan when he was a kid. He wanted to come to the Raiders for a couple different reasons, and one of them was to put on the silver and black. Not just to play with Derek Carr and blah blah blah. And so I wasn't sure where they were going to go with it. But then a couple days before the trade deadline, I was seeing reports saying there's no way in hell we are trading Devontae Adams. They did receive calls for Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow. I know New Orleans wanted to trade for Hunter Renfrow, but a couple different stories I hear that they already decided to fire McDaniels and Ziegler, so no deal was made. And I also heard that there was I don't know what you would call it. Mark Davis basically said, we're not trading anything. We're not trading for anybody. We're not trading anybody. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. That's just stuff that I read on the interwebs. The interwebs tend to lie. So take it for what it is. Again, what's truth, what's fact, I have no idea. I'm just, talking out of, the hole in my head here is my mouth. Whatever that means. I don't know. It sounded funnier in my head, and then I said it. It's like, that's stupid. I don't know why I said that. Anyway. So that's what I got. That's my key to victory against the Giants offensively. Defensively, like I said before, stop Saquon Barkley, and I think we're going to be fine. Stop, because there's nobody wide receiving wise that's really that scary. We do have a veteran core in the defensive backfield. Marcus Epps, who hasn't played up to snuff yet. Marcus Peters, who at times looks decent, at times looks like crap. Nate Hobbs, I really like Nate Hobbs. And Amik Robertson, Jacorian Bennett. Hopefully he plays. He's been up and down as a rookie so far this year. Eileen's laughing. And there he is. Paul Spencer saying, "What's up, buddy? Nothing better than an 8 to 10 practice for a Monday game. Hey, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's all about them dubs. Good luck Monday, and hopefully you advance in the playoffs." Paul, there was a question earlier from Rich Youst. He wants to know who do we got? Dallas or Philly tomorrow? Paul, what do you think? Paul's the Dallas guy, Rich, in case you're still watching. All right, so I'm going to move on real quick to make my my players of the game to watch. So if you're new to the show, every week I've been doing an offensive player to watch, a defensive player to watch, a rookie to watch, blah 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 from there. So this week I have the Jason Fine, Jay Fine Law, Big Al. Defensive player to watch this week is going to be Robert Spillane. I think he's played really, really well since we picked him up from the Steelers. And he's going to have some big shoes to fill. He's going to be out there with a rookie linebacker more than likely, and a newer linebacker, Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, is a veteran, but still he's been on a practice squad in New Orleans, so he hasn't seen a whole lot of game time on Sundays. So Spillane's going to be the leader out there. So he's going to have a lot to go through. And Saquon Barkley, he can be a nightmare. Absolutely, we know that. Everybody knows that Saquon Barkley can be a nightmare. And of course, like I said, Danny Dimes running the ball. So it's going to be a lot's going to be on Robert Spillane. So I'm curious to see how he responds. Does he get that defense up? As a linebacker. Sometimes you look to as the quarterback of the defense. We'll see what happens. The Monkey Colt Coffee offensive player to watch, Hunter Renfrow. Like I said, if they let Hunter Renfrow be Hunter Renfrow, like we all know Hunter Renfrow can be, Pro Bowl Hunter Renfrow, I think good things are going to happen. It's going to open a lot more things up. A lot of short, quick passes for Aiden O'Connell. Hitting Hunter Renfrow 5-6 yards downfield. He's a good runner after the catch. He'll get another 4 or 5 yards after that. A lot of good things are going to happen. The out-of-the-box sports entertainment rookie to watch is going to be Aiden O'Connell, of course, getting another shot at starting. And, the way it looks, he may have the rest of the season. Kind of depends on how he plays. But, if he goes out there and it's, really, really bad, I don't think we'll put Hoyer in there. I think we'll go back to Jimmy G. But, as long as we block for O'Connell, I think he'll be able to do his thing. All right. Adam Glenn says Paul picked Philly, Sully picked Dallas. Oh, yeah. And Eileen says, can they both lose? Well, I guess they could tie. That's almost like a loss sometimes. And Rich says, okay. All right. So that's what I got for the Raiders. I'm going to my notebook with my predictions is missing. But I'm scratching everything anyway. It's because the whole shit, everything's changed since I did my week by week predictions. So this week I'm going to take the Raiders. Of course, I'm going to take the Raiders 24, Giants 16. This will be the first game the Raiders offense scores over 20 points. They did score over 20 points against New England. They scored 21 points, but the reason we got to 21 points is because the defense got a safety in the fourth quarter. So it wasn't really the offense scoring the 20 points, but as a team, they got over 20 points. So, but I think the offense will score over 20 points. I like Aiden O'Connell protecting the ball. It's, another shot at it. And I think you'll get that interim coach bump, as they call it. Whereas you have an interim coach come in and the team plays up a little bit. So I think you'll get that. So that's my prediction. Let me know yours. I know Adam Glenn's prediction. He said the Raiders are going to lose. They suck. Blow me, Adam Glenn. All right, so before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and read our sponsors off here before I move on to hockey. And speaking of Jason Fine before, the Jay Fine Law player to watch was Robert Spillane. Here's Jason Fine now, Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. They have 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In the Garden State of New Jersey, located at Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. Then in the city of Brotherly Love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. Or you just call 1-800-HURT-123. That's Jason Fine, Big Al. Tell him Out of the Box Sports sent you. And then we got Monkey Colt Coffee. There we go. MonkeyColtCoffee.com. Get all your coffee needs there. Damn it. Buy your coffee at Monkey Colt Coffee. Yeah, terrific products here. Working on newer stuff coming up here in the next month or so. We'll start off with the OG of their coffee lineup, the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee. Fantastic coffee. My personal favorite is the toasted coconut rum. Very aromatic, very tasty, good stuff. The Sumatran blend just came out recently. That's a medium roast, very good coffee. I currently have that, and the bourbon chocolate chip in my cabinet. And their newest blend that just recently came out a few weeks ago, an organic blend, Perula, Florida, from their Global Gourmet collection. Go to their website at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Click on the newest blend, Perula, Florida, and check out all the tasting notes and stuff like that. It really, a lot goes into these coffees, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So after you fill your little shopping cart, your virtual shopping cart up with coffee, head over to the swag shop, get yourself a T-shirt, a coffee mug. The coffee mug's fantastic. A tumbler cup. I love my tumbler cup as well. I also have the cold brew pitcher. Works fantastic if you like the cold brew coffee. They also have K-cup adapters. And don't forget the Paradise Rum Cake. Paradise Rum Cake is fantastic. Very moist, not a strong rum flavor, but very good. So at monkeycoldcoffee.com, when you're at checkout with all your products, with your hundreds of dollars of products, put in that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off. That promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports for 10% off. Wow, that. All right, we got a comment here before I switch over. All right. And we got Rich Yao saying the Raiders 27, Giants 23. Atta boy, Richie. anytime you want to come on the show and talk Eagles, you're more than welcome to. And we got Paul Spencer. Paul Spencer's saying, I got a call from Bambi's mom on the 1-800-HURT-123 line yesterday, asking if she had a case from a man hitting her kid. She said it's a BatFrie and said, nope, can't help you. I saved you. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that very much for saving my ass from Bambi's mom. I'll tell you, I think I might have hit Bambi's mom, to be honest with you. I didn't hit Bambi. I hit Bambi's mom. It looked like a doe, and stuck her little head out there, and it wasn't good for either of us. And I got a mashed up truck, and that deer has gone to deer heaven. If there is a deer heaven. Do you think deer have ghosts? I don't know. If they did, the highways would be littered with these deer ghosts, haunting people. And Rich says, LOL. There we go, Richie. Yeah, like I said, anytime, buddy, you want to come on live and talk, even Philly, when it's baseball season again, you want to, come on and talk Mets and Phillies, anytime. All right, so let's switch it over here to a little bit of LA Kings before I hop out of here and go to bed, because this is my work weekend. That's why I was not on the Atomic Drop podcast last night talking WWE wrestling, but it looked like the fellows had a great time with their special guests, the Keep It Real podcast. I think that's who's on with them. I don't remember who it was now. Shouldn't have said anything if I wasn't sure. Sorry. All right. Kings playing fantastic right now. Playing fantastic right now. 5-0 on the road. Currently on the road. Playing in Philly tonight. I'll tell you what. I so bad wanted to get tickets for this game. I'm glad I didn't. With my truck being smashed up, I have to work overtime because this is gonna cost some money. Even though I have insurance, it's still gonna hurt financially. Kings won 2 games in a row now, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1, beating the Senators last night 3-2, or was that 2 nights ago? I think that was 2 nights ago. And I don't remember if it was last night. No, it was 2 nights ago. 3-2, and the Kings were up 3-0, but they're able to hold them off. Their fourth line has just been absolutely amazing. So that's the one thing that kind of hurt the Kings last season in their march into the playoffs, was that they relied heavily on their top 2 lines. Their third line and fourth line was kind of hit or miss sometimes. And it seems like this season, with their fourth line, Grundstrom has played fantastic. Blake Lizotte, I'm a big Blake Lizotte fan. I think he's squirrely. He comes up big, and he comes up big in big spots. He always seems to be around the puck. And Grundstrom just has a terrific start to the season. But all 3 lines have contributed almost about even. Like, of course, their top line, with Kempe and Anze Kopitar and Quentin Byfield, those guys, especially Anze Kopitar and Kempe, those guys have really offensively, scored the most. And but they're supposed to. They're the number 1 line. But I mean, each line has contributed so much so far. The Kings are second best offense in the league right now. I can't remember who they're behind. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And so it's just just getting that equal output just about from every line is just if they're able to keep that going, they're going to be a very, very hard team to beat. Cam Talbot's been playing fantastic. The newest pickup for the Kings in net. Picked him up from was it Ottawa or no? It might have been Ottawa. I'm not sure. And he's been pretty playing pretty well in the net. He started, I think, the last 3 or 4 games. Phoenix Copley last started, I think it was October 27th, and I think he was pulled in the first period. He gave up a couple of quick goals to I think it was the Vegas Golden Knights. No, it was Phoenix Coyotes. I think it was. I think it was against the Phoenix Coyotes, and gave up a couple early goals, and the Kings were able to to recover and come back and win the game. But they pulled him early and put Cam Talbot in. I think Phoenix Copley is a very good goalie, so hopefully they don't just push him off to the side and kind of forget about him, kind of give him another shot. He's not like it was last year with Cal Peterson and Jonathan Quick. I do think Phoenix is a very good goalie. You look at somebody like the Vegas Golden Knights with Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson, their goalies. You guys are almost split even. And both are excellent goalies. I mean, Las Vegas, they have a hell of a problem there. It's a great problem to have. Both goalies just outstanding, top goalies in the league. That's a great problem to have. But I think the Kings, the one thing they need to do is to get to an even split. Kind of go, maybe 2 for Cam. If Cam Talbot's your number one, go 2 for Talbot, 1 for Copley, 2 for Talbot, 1 for Copley, maybe 2 for Copley, 1 for Talbot. Then just kind of mix it up, try to make it a little bit more even to keep Talbot fresh. He is an older goalie. He is up there in years, so you don't want to have him playing all these games early in the season and then have it the end of the season, have yourselves, with a tired goalie. And then it's all relied on Phoenix Copley. Last night's game, or 2 nights ago against Ottawa, is the first time the Kings have seen Jonas Korpisalo since releasing him. He was the trade deadline pickup we got last year from Columbus. He played fantastic. He and Phoenix, again, last season, after they picked up Jonas Korpisalo, they kind of split time almost evenly. So that was, I think it was a great system they had going last season. And until the playoffs, then it was just all Jonas Korpisalo, and Phoenix Copley, he didn't get any starts. He did come in relief to one game because of the Oilers just jumped all over Korpisalo. But I think they need to even it out more. Unless there's something wrong with Phoenix Copley that we don't know about. I don't know. So the Kings, they dominated the Leafs 4-1. I don't know if he's a rookie. I feel like he's a rookie, but England defenseman got his first goal as in the NHL. So congratulations to him. Also goals by Philippe Deneau, Arthur Kaliev, and Adrian Kempe. Juice, we call him Juice. And also Quentin Byfield had a couple assists. So Byfield's not putting a whole lot of goals out there, but he's always around the puck. He shoots, he's getting a lot of shots in there. So I think it's only a matter of time before Byfield busts out. They beat the Senators, like I said, 3-2. Philippe Deneau again, a goal, a power play goal. Grundstrom, who we were just talking about, he also had a goal. Kopitar had a goal, and Juice again, a couple assists. So far for the season, point totals. Fiala, he's leading the team with 12 points, 1 goal, 11 assists. His goals will start ramping up pretty soon, I feel like. He's been, like I said, a ton of assists, but he's a hell of a goal scorer as well, Fiala. Kempe, 3 goals, 8 assists. He has 11 points. Anze Kopitar, 5 goals, 5 assists with 10 points. Our captain, who's now, I think he's 2 goals shy, I want to say, of 500, I believe it is. And he's also a couple assists away from the all-time leader for the franchise leader for the Kings, I believe. I believe that's what I heard last night. Trevor Moore, who's had a fantastic start to the season as well, leading that third line. 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. Quentin Byfield, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. Philippe Deneau, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Drew Doughty, scoring a lot from the defensive position. I feel like he's had a pretty good start to the season. 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. And then, like I said about Grundstrom, playing fantastic on that fourth line. 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. So the next couple games, we're at Philly, at Vegas. Vegas is still undefeated, 10-0-1, so it's going to be interesting. So hopefully the Kings are able to get through Philly, go to Vegas at 6-0. Then you'll have the 6-0 Road Warrior Kings in Vegas, and the Vegas Golden Knights. Hopefully, they're still undefeated. I think they play on the 8th, so it'd be a couple days away. So hopefully, the Golden Knights are still undefeated by then. So I think that'd be a pretty cool storyline. Then after that, they have a nice little home stretch, 4 games in a row at home. See if they can get a couple wins there as well. But overall, nice start for the Kings, 6-2-2. Offensively, fantastic. Goalie-wise, not bad. Defensively, not bad. Just an overall good start. I like it. A couple comments here before I get the hell out of here. Paul Spencer says, keep it real is joining our network. They loved it so much. That was the name of the ladies that were on the podcast, the Atomic Drop podcast last night. That's fantastic. I was so bummed I wasn't able to be on the show last night with them. I think we would have had a great time as well. It seemed like they had a really good time. A lot of laughing and stuff like that. So crazy day today. Golden Dome at 11. So for all you Notre Damers out there, your Golden Domers, at 11 a.m. today, you have the Golden Dome podcast talking Notre Dame pregame. Crown Jewels on today. I think it says 12. I thought it was 1, maybe 12 is the pre-show. I don't know. Maybe I got my time wrong. I don't know. Sixers at 1. Oh, okay. Notre Dame at 12. Crown Jewel at 1. Sixers at 1. I got you. And college football all day. And 2 post-game shows tonight only at Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. So the 2 post-game shows, I don't know, Rich, if you're still watching or not, if you're a Sixers fan, but Paul does a 76ers post-game show after every Sixers game. So there will be a Sixers post-game show. There will be a Notre Dame post-game show that Paul will be doing as well. So check those out. I don't know if Rich follows any college football or not, if he's a Penn Stater, if he's a Golden Dome or Notre Dame fan, or maybe he's a fan of Missouri. I don't know. Whatever. Only at Out of the Box Sports. We do it simply the best network out there. Great show, buddy, as always. I'm trying, Paul. I'm doing my best. All right, so let me do the show reads here for the weekend real quick, and then I'm getting the hell out of here, and I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Well, actually, I'm going to eat something first. I'm going to get me maybe a waffle or 2 out of the freezer and cook it up, or maybe I'll get a bucket of cereal. We'll see what happens. We'll play that one by ear. We'll see what happens when I walk in the kitchen, see which way the belly takes me. All right, so for the weekend, we have like I said, Golden Dome at 11 a.m., 4 p.m., the Golden Dome versus Clemson post-game show. You'll also have a 76ers post-game show tonight as well sometime. Sunday, 11 a.m., the Big Blue Power Hour, talking New York Giants football. 1 p.m., Eagles versus Cowboys pregame. 7:45, 76ers versus the Suns. And then 8:30 p.m., the Cowboys versus Eagles postgame. Paul is going to be a busy man on Sunday. That TV's working overtime all weekend, I guess. That TV's been working overtime all weekend. You can check us out, Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, Twitch. We're also on TikTok, and the Instagram, or the kids call it Insta, I think. I don't know. I ask my kids, but they look at me like I'm slow. Like, what do you call it, kids? Do you call it the gram? Do you call it Insta? They just sit there like this. Mortified by my question. I don't understand it. Mortified. All right, so that's it for me. I'm going to get out of here. Go Kings, go. Just win, baby. Like I said, I have the Raiders winning 24-16. For the love of God, hopefully they score 20 points. Please, 20 points. Offensively, 20 points. Please. Baby steps here. Baby steps. All right, so that's all. Oh, we got a comment. There we go. I love comments. I like talking. All right. Paul says, the Gram. My team calls it. There we go. The Gram. That's what his team calls it. my kids won't answer me. So, when I was a kid, we didn't have any of this stuff, right? Paul, you're much older than I am. You a good 30 years on me probably. And anyway, you're not that. I'm just kidding. But like when we were kids, nothing like that. Eventually, then you had the MySpace. I remember that. That was out of this world. Like all these people, my top 5 MySpace friends or whatever the hell it was. Nuts. Now look where we're at. Amazing. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Be sure to tune in at 11 a.m. to check out the Golden Dome podcast. Thanks for checking the show out, everybody. I appreciate it very, very much. More than you guys will ever know. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to Paul and everybody at Out of the Box Sports Entertainment for allowing me to ramble on to see if there's any more comments. There's not. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like I said, go Kings go, and just win, baby. Check me out Wednesday, the Bat Cave, 10 a.m. Peace.